Good morning. My name is Steve Rennie. I am the Ren Baron, and this is my Ren Baron Learning to Fly YouTube channel. Today, we're going to do a little flight from Palm Springs to Santa Monica. We're going to be taking off from Bermuda Dunes, which is Kilo Uniform Delta Delta, and flying to Kilo Sierra Mike Oscar, which is Santa Monica Airport. Today, instead of doing it in my old 8 Foxtrot Sierra, we're going to be doing it virtually speaking here on my simulator, which is X-Plane 12. I'm using my RealSimGear Cirrus Cockpit to make it a little bit more real. One of the things I love about using the simulator is that it gives you some different perspectives, gives you some visuals for things that you don't get the chance to see when you're in the plane here. And one of them is this little view you get right here. I'm going to swing back over to the left here. We're going to be taking off today on runway 28 from Bermuda Dunes. And as you can see right here, if I get us lined up right behind runway 28, you'll see we're going to make a straight out departure, and we're going to swing around a little bit to the right, and then we're going to go right through that little pass up there, which is called the Banning Pass. So I'm going to keep swinging around here to the right, and then we're going to zoom in here on our little 8 Foxtrot Sierra. We're going to zoom in down here to the plane right here, and the ramp in front of the FBO here. So let's get started. We're going to start with our pre-flight routine, including a little walk around. First, we're going to get rid of our chocks here. Then we're going to get rid of our covers and our tie downs. Then our pitot cover. And then we're going to walk around here and open up the cargo door and put our pitot cover in there and our chocks and pull out our little fuel receptacle. Now from here, I'm just going to do a quick 360 on the plane to check for any obvious signs of something being wrong. If I look from back here and saw flat tires, that would be a problem. If somebody had banged into the plane, I would be able to detect that right now. If there were any obvious liquid leaks, fuel, fecal, water, I'd be able to see that as well. And that would give me a little pause for thought as I got ready to go out flying today. But right now it looks pretty beautiful out here. It's 8:15 in the morning. It's a beautiful sunny day. And so let's get started with our interior checks. Okay, first we're going to open up that cockpit door, and then we're going to stick our head in here. And then we're going to do our cabin checks here. So let's get started with those. First things first, we're going to go to our battery 2. We're going to light that baby up. That's a check. We're going to go down here to our flap light and make sure that is not highlighted. If it was, that would indicate an electrical problem. Everything is good right now. Next, we're going to be looking for our battery voltage, and we want something above 25 to get us enough power to get everything started up properly. Okay, so let's go and see what we've got here. We've got 25.5, which is plenty. Now we're going to go hit battery 1 in our avionics, and that's a check. We're going to make sure that our flap light should be illuminated, and of course it is now. And now we're going to put our flaps down to 100% as well. We're going to go enter, enter, enter. And get rid of that pesky little warning light right there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go and put on our lights here. So we're going to put our nav on, our strobe lights on, our landing lights on, our ice, and our pitot heat as well. And now we're going to do our little exterior check here. Okay. So we're going to swing around. We're just basically looking at to check that the lights are on. You can't really see them that well in the daylight. We're also going to open up our passenger door because on a regular Gen 60, we're going to do a little stall warning check. But right now, we're going to see that our light is working properly here. And if I come in here tight on that little tab you see down there below the stall strip, and I push that forward with the flaps down, I'll get a stall warning. So that's what we're looking for right there. We won't hear it on this, but that works right now. So we're going to go and close up that cargo door now. We're going to come around to the front and then over to the left wing. As you can see, our strobe light is flashing. We're going to do a gentle tap on that pitot tube to make sure it's warmed up. Don't grab it, you'll burn your hand. Then we're going to come back in the cockpit. We're going to put our flaps up, flaps 50, 100, that's check. And now we're going to come in here and we're going to turn off all of our switches here right now. Pitot heat, ice, landing light, strobe, our nav, our avionics, our battery 1 and our battery 2. So now we're going to do our exterior checks here, but a little quick check here in the cockpit first. Okay, first we're going to make sure all the fuses are pushed in. Our alternate static source is in normal. We're going to make sure that our fire extinguisher is secured. We're going to open up our glove box and make sure our hammer is there in case we need to bust the door open, or the window open I should say. We're going to swing around now. Now we're going to check our exteriors. Okay, our communication antennas on top are all good. We're going to check the COM2 and our ELT below, and those are all good. We're going to come in tight on our static source and make sure there's no issues right there. We're going to play with our elevators, and I want you to note here that if we come in tight on that left edge there should be a little plastic film over that. We should also make sure that our trim tab is in good shape there. Okay, then we're going to come around and make sure that our rudders are working properly. The rudder tab is good. Same thing on the elevators here. Again, that right edge tip should have a piece of film over it, and it does. We'll check to make sure our static port on the right side is free and clear. We'll make sure that those fairings are flush against the fuselage. We'll step back and take a look at our flaps and make sure those struts and the screws are firmly tightened. We're going to check our ailerons, make sure they're working properly, make sure the aileron tab is in good shape there. We're going to make sure our wingtip light is working properly. We're going to come in tight here, and you're going to see these little micro holes on the front edge of the wing. That's to let the fecky fluid come out. We're going to check our fuel vent on the right wing. We'll come up top and we'll unhook the cap on our fuel. Excuse me. Then we're going to come down and take a fuel sample on the left, a fuel sample on the right. We're going to hold it up to the sun there and make sure that it's light blue in color, that there's no water that's collected down at the bottom. And we're going to come back up top. We're going to pour that back into the wing tanks and secure the cap and make sure it's locked. I've had that come off a couple times in flight. That does not make you feel very smart. Okay, here we're going to check for our stall warning strip, our ice light, our vortex generator, and the exhaust pipe. Make sure they're all secure. We're going to step back a little bit and make sure that the tires are good. There's no signs of wear. There's no signs of brake wear, that the fairings are good. We'll come up top and make sure all the bolts here on the cowling are all secure. We're going to come back and check our nose wheel, make sure the fairing's good, the tires are good, the ice or the light is not cracked. We'll want to come up close here and check our edges on our propellers, check our alternator and our inlets there, make sure nothing has managed to get in there overnight. We'll come up top and we'll check our oil. We're looking for 6 to 8 quarts of oil. Is typically the first thing I check when I'm pre-flighting. Then we're going to come down underneath the nose here, and we're going to do a little check of the fuel collator. We'll take a little sample there. We'll make sure our ice light, our exhaust pipe, our vortex generator, and our stall strip are in order. Then we'll come underneath on the left side. We'll take a sample of the fuel. On the right side, we'll take a sample of the fuel. We'll check to make sure that it's light blue in color, no water's collecting down at the bottom, and if that works, we're going to open up the fuel cap on the wing tank, pour in the fuel, put it back and lock it, and make sure that's all good. We'll check the little holes here, that's all good. Then we'll come over and check our fuel vent, make sure that's good. We'll make sure that the pitot tube is secure, the wingtip light is not cracked. Then we'll come over here and test our ailerons on the left wing, make sure they're moving freely. And then the same thing on the left side. We're going to make sure all the struts and the screws are tight. We're going to make sure our fairing is flush against the fuselage. And we're going to put our little fuel collector back into the cargo bin. And we're going to climb up into the cockpit. And then we're going to close that door. And now we're going to start our pre-flight cockpit sequence here. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, first things first, we're going to go toggle the keys, put them in the ignition. Then we're going to go check our caps view here. We're going to get rid of our caps cover. We're going to pull out the pin. The pin goes in the glove compartment. The cover goes in the right side by the passenger, a little storage area there. Then we're going to record our engine and Hobbs information here. So we're going to open up the glove box. We're going to take a look in there. We got 62.3 engine hours, 165.7 Hobbs hours. So let's zoom out a little bit here. We're going to put that information right here on our flight info sheet, which you can see right here. And then we're going to go close up the glove box and come back up top. And now we are ready to start our engine start sequence. So let's get started there. First thing we're going to do is make sure that our brakes are holding, which you can see right there, and they are. So that's a check. We're going to go battery 2, battery 1, strobe. So let's go battery 2, battery 1, strobe. That's a check. We're going to want to check that flaps light, make sure it's on, and it is. Next thing we're going to do is going to go down to the throttle. We're going to put our mixture full and our power full. And once everything fires up, we're going to give it some high boost prime there, okay? So we've got enter, enter, enter. We're going to note our 92 gallons and put that on that flight info sheet as well. We're going to get rid of that little warning light, which is a little glitch here in the X-Plane software here. Now we're going to come down here to our fuel pump, and now we're going to give it a little bit of this high boost prime, and then we're going to go and make sure that we can see all of that happening here. So let's go back up to 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,004, and you can see that the fuel flow was actually moving along nicely there. So now we're going to go back down to the throttle area, and I'm going to pull the power back to about 1/4 inch-ish. And then this time, I'm going to give it a little just regular old boost pump here, and we're going to get this baby started. Let's go give it that boost, then we're going to give it the ignition start. All right, and now we've got a clean start there. We're going to reduce our power back a little bit, which we did. We're going to see that our EGTs are rising. You can see everything is coming up green and looking good at the moment here. And now we have got everything started, and now we're ready to put in our flight plan. But actually before that, we want to come in here close and Alt 1, Alt 2, and avionics. Let's get those babies fired up, and now we're ready to go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put in our flight plan. So let's go over to the MFD, and let's put in our flight plan here. So we're starting, obviously, Kilo, Uniform, Delta, Delta. Now, I've figured this flight plan out on my iPad, which in the past I've been able to show in the sim. Today, for some reason, it's not working, so we're just going to go ahead and do it old school. So we're going to start with putting in our destination, which is Kilo, Sierra, Mike, Oscar, enter, enter, okay? We're going to also be flying a procedure out of here, a departure procedure. So I'm going to click the procedure button here. We're going to select a departure, which is the KUDD1 departure. We're going to enter that in here. We're going on runway 28, and let's go ahead and load that. So that's going to get us to thermal here. Put in PSP, enter, enter, enter. Okay, now we've got Palm Springs, then Victor 388. So menu, load airway, Victor 388, which is right there. Enter, enter, and we want to get out on Paradise, which is PDZ, Papa Delta Zulu. Enter. We're going to load that. Now we've got the 388 Victor airway, and then we're going to load another airway. So we're going to go menu. We're going to go load airway. We want Victor 186, which might be down here a little bit. There's Victor 186. We want to get out on Darts, which is up top, I believe. There's Darts. Enter, enter. And now we have our flight plan loaded here, and we are ready to go.
Connected to Pilot Edge.
Okay, so now, as you heard right there, we've connected to Pilot Edge, which is going to be our ATC in a box that we're going to be using today. Now, Typically, I would have had to call on the phone and get my departure clearance from the ATC. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to take off VFR and I'm going to pick up our IFR flight plan up in the air. Now, you can see up here on the PFD that I've loaded in, my frequencies 122.8 is the Unicom and 135.275 is our departure frequency. Our altitude today is going to be 8,000 feet to Santa Monica. We're going west on an IFR plan, so we'll be doing even numbers today. I picked up our barometer setting by going to the Palm Springs International Airport, where I saw that it was 30.14 because there is no ATIS here at Bermuda Dunes. Okay, so now I think we are ready to go here, so let's go ahead and get rid of our parking brake and let's taxi out to runway 28. So let's pull out of here. All right, so we're going to go down to the end of runway 28 down here. Okay, so we're going to do a little quick run up here down in front of the runway here. We got our parking brake back on, so now let's go back here and let's do our run up. Okay, so let's do our before takeoff checklist. Our doors are locked and closed, our caps handle is removed, our seatbelt and shoulder harnesses are secure, our air conditioner is off, our fuel selector is on the fullest tank, our fuel pump is in low boost, our mixture is required, flaps are set at 50%. Let's just check that. There, you see they're set at 50%. All right, flaps transponder is set right now for 1200. We'll change that in a minute. Transponder set, autopilot test and disconnect. All right, so let's just go ahead and test it. We're going to push on the autopilot here, and we're going to sync up our heading here, and then we're just going to move our heading around. Let's go heading mode here. And our autopilot is working properly. That's good. The autopilot is good. Navigation radios are set. Cabin heat defrost is off. Our brakes are holding. So now let's go to the engine page here and let's spool it up to 1700 here. All right, there's 1700-ish, and now we're going to go and check our electrical. So I'm going to put on the nav light. We've got our strobe light on, our landing light. You can see that pushes up Alt 1 just a bit. We're going to push on our ice, which didn't really move it. Pitot heat should move Alt 2 considerably, and it does. Now we're going to check our mags here. Okay, so we're going to run both right now. We're going to go to the left, and what we should see is a drop in RPMs to about 90, and our EGTs are rising. That's a good thing. Now we go back to both. Resets at 1700. We're going to go back to the right mag. We get a drop of about 50, and our EGTs are rising, so we are good to go right there. Let's pull our power back to 1000. Let's go back to our checklist. And so our power lever is good. Our alternator, we checked all that. Let's turn off our pitot heat. Let's turn off our ice light. Let's turn off our landing lights and our nav lights. We don't need those right now. Our voltage is +1. That's good. Pitot heat is not required. Our nav lights are off. Our landing light is off. We've checked our magnetos. Our engine parameters are now. Let's go check it. Make sure that green, which is looking good. Okay, power lever is back to 1000. Flight instruments are set. Let's go put it in takeoff go around mode here. Let's check our flight controls. Let's step outside the plane to do that. All right, rudders are working, elevators, everything's working properly. Let's come back in to the cockpit. All right, Let's come up close again, and so that's enter. Let's get our trim set. Our trim right there, as you can see, is set properly. Okay, that's all good. All right, so we got enter, and now we are all set. So let's go take this up to flight. We're gonna go, we know how to do a takeoff, so let's get our climb checklist set. Let's go back to the map here. Let's go declutter, declutter, declutter. I just want to see that flight route here. Okay, and now we are ready to go, I believe. We're going to get rid of our parking brake now, and we're going to pull out there on the runway. We're going to do a quick look to the right, quick look to the left, make sure nobody's coming. Let's put her on the center line. Okay, let's sync our heading now. All right, I think we're ready to go now. We're on the runway here. Trim, flap, mixture, boost, we're all good. Let's get going. 1002, 1003, 1004. We're off to a good start here. Rotating at 77. Let's start rotating. We're up in the air. We're looking good. There's flaps 90. Let's go indicated airspeed 120. There we go, we're out of here. We're getting up to 120 here. Trim it up a little bit. There we go. Now I forgot to do my radio calls there on the Unicom, so that's not good. So let's go over to our flight plan. Let's go direct, enter, and nav. So we're flying at PSP here. Okay, so now let's see if we can get SoCal approach on the radio here.
Sierra radar service terminated, squawk IFR, please change approved. Frequency change approved, that's
SoCal departure Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra 3000 climbing 8000 off Bermuda Dunes. Like to pick up my IFR flight plan.
768 Foxtrot Sierra SoCal approach squawk 4165 ident.
4165 ident 8 Foxtrot Sierra. .65 ident 8 Foxtrot Sierra.
Okay, Foxtrot Sierra, radar contact 3 miles southeast of Palm Springs, cleared to Santa Monica Airport as filed, maintain 10,000.
Cleared to Santa Monica Airport as filed, maintain 10,000 8 Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, there's our altitude. Okay, so we're good. So let's go ahead and put this on autopilot right now, which is going to make it a lot easier for me here. All right, so we're off and running here. This is all good. All right, so he's got us flying the flight plan now, which is nice and easy. Nice little maneuver there when you're flying out of Palm Springs area is you can kind of mix and match that IFR. So right now, let me give you a look at our flight plan here. Now, if you guys are just getting started on the simulator, you really do need to use Pilot Edge. It gives you some realistic ATC banter, which is good. I don't know about you folks, but when I was first starting, one of the most difficult, most uncomfortable things for me was talking with ATC.
Actually, it's unavailable. So give Palm Springs. Palm Springs, altimeter 3014. Turn right heading 120. Vectors for JCAP. All
right, there we go. I'm trying to get all my stuff sorted out here. So let's come in close. Let's so you can see what we're doing here. Okay, pitot is required. So let's get our pitot heat on there. We we've lost 4165, so let's go transponder 4165 again. Is good. And we're climbing to 10,000 feet here. Okay, there's a little view out the passenger window there. So many times I've taken this flight from Palm Springs back in the day. It was always fun taking passengers. There's what she looks like out the back window. And here's what it looks like in the middle. Now again, one of the things I love about the sim is that you've got some great views that you can use. But that's a great look down the Banning Pass. Below us you can see the San Bernardino Freeway, the 10, which I believe goes all the way across the country here. It's a beautiful day today, and this would have been a fine morning to actually leave Palm Springs area. Not a lot of turbulence, winds are calm. It can be pretty nutty in this Banning Pass, I will tell you. I've had some rocking short flights here back to Santa Monica. Let's bring her down so you can see her. And that just make you cry for your mommy, but that's flying, folks. Take a look out our belly cam here. Give you another great view of through the pass there. Okay, we're coming up on 10,000 here. Go down to our throttle quadrant here. Let's switch our tank. We're gonna let her speed up here now. Let's get that baby going here. Like to let it get up to about 140, 150-ish actually. Okay, so now we will pull our throttle back a little bit. So we've got about 30.5-ish on the that's pretty close. It's a little sensitive. Okay, so there's 30. So now let's pull our mixture back. And if we get it down to about 16.1 gallons of fuel flow, that typically gets me somewhere around 75%. So let's see if that's going to work today. There's 16.1. Just a gentle tap there. Let's give it a little tap there. There we go. 16.2 gets me my number. Great. Now, if you look up in that left corner of the screen up there, you'll see our frame rate. So with my brand new Corsair Vengeance i7500 computer with the Intel i7 chip in the NVIDIA 4070 Ti graphic card, we're getting some amazing performance out of this. I'm trying to record this today in HD, which at 2K basically, and we'll see how that actually works out here. But what a great view today out the plane here, and just not gonna lie, days like this, make me wish I still had my little pup, but not to be. Back to one expensive hobby, playing golf. And you can just look around the plane and just enjoy this beautiful day. Okay, I keep losing here. My let's go 4165. Okay, there's a little glitch here in the software here on the X-plane that for some reason when I enter the transponder code over here on GCU, it doesn't stick for some reason. So let's go ahead. Let's see if this one is going to stick this time. See, we got 4165 right there, and usually it goes away after about 10 seconds. But I think we're going to be good today. All right, so there's our little gentle turn there. Gallons up.
Zero contact, SoCal approach 135.4.
135.48 Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, so now let's go 135.4. 135.4. And then we're going to switch it over. There we go, switch her over, and then make the call. SoCal approach Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra level 10, 10,000.
768 Foxtrot Sierra, SoCal approach, descend and maintain 6,000, the anterior altimeter 3015.
Descend, maintain 6,000, 3015. Okay, let's go 6,000. There's 6,000. There's 301. Oops. 3015, 6,000. Let's go. 500 feet a minute. We'll just do it kind of gentle. We'll leave our power where it is for right now.
8 Foxtrot Sierra, traffic alert, traffic 12 o'clock, 3 miles, opposite direction, type unknown, altitude gauge 10,000.
Looking for traffic, 8 Foxtrot Sierra.
8 Foxtrot Sierra, target spear likely to merge. Foxtrot Sierra, you still with me?
I'm still with you. Traffic flew overhead, no issue.
Thank you.
That was pretty close. First time I've ever seen one on X-plane either. All right, well, that was kind of interesting to see that. I hope we get that on the video. But that was pretty darn close. Well, it just looks beautiful on X-plane, I gotta say. All right, we're coming up on 6,000 here. And for any of you folks that are thinking about a simulator setup, particularly the Cirrus pilots, I can't recommend enough how important I think it is to be able to get a simulator that really does simulate what you're going to do in your brand new Cirrus or your Cirrus that you just bought. And while they're not cheap, they are incredibly powerful and a great tool to learn. So nobody has a problem paying 10 or 12 grand for your insurance or 10 or 12 grand for your annual inspection and all that. Well, I'm sure everybody has a problem, but they pay it, right? The optional one of 10, 12 grand for a great simulator setup that makes you a better pilot, that makes you a safer pilot, that makes you a more complete pilot, seems to be a no-brainer for me. But I understand it's expensive, but man, they really are powerful. And even though I haven't flown in my old Cirrus in almost a year now, I feel like I could get back in a Cirrus tomorrow and be a decent pilot because I spent so much time here on the simulator. So I don't get paid to say that, but it is absolutely true. Let's do a little scanning everything. We're at 6,000 feet. Got good speed. Our temps are all good. Our fuel is good. Our power is good. All right, let's go down here to the GCU here. And what I'm going to do is I got 119.15 up here. We're going to make a little turn here for ATIS for Santa Monica Airport. Okay, let's go back one. Okay. What I'm going to do is, you can see I have COM 1 is lit up right now, actually with the light here in the cockpit. You can't see it as well, but I'm going to push the COM 2 button, not the mic button, and we're going to just start monitoring the ATIS at Santa Monica Airport.
Visibility 10, sky condition clear, temperature 18, dew point 7, altimeter 3015, arriving and departing runway 21, visual approaches in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information November.
Okay, I didn't get the front half of that.
Santa Monica Municipal Airport. ATIS information November. 1751 Zulu. Wind variable at 4. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 18. Dew point 7. Altimeter 3.
Okay, so we got our ATIS here. Another great feature of the Pilot Edge system here. We get real-time weather, the same weather you would get on your iPad, and so it makes it very, very realistic, and that's what I love about it. So again, so now that we've gotten our ATIS here, I'm going to flip over to 121.9, okay, and then I'm going to put in 120.1, which is my frequency for tower. We're going to go ahead and switch it up top here again. And that way we're constantly staying ahead of the game here, staying ahead of the plane. which is really a huge lesson for all you new pilots to learn, which is you don't want to get fallen behind, not when you're going 175 knots and there's plenty of traffic around, as we witnessed a little bit earlier here on the sim in a pretty realistic way. And frankly, I don't know what I did with the setup that allowed that to happen today, but I did enjoy getting that real-time plane flying over me, so that was actually kind of fun. I'll try to figure out how that happened. Look how clean that plane looks here.
November Delta Silver departure, radar contact, clear direct.
Gotta love it. All right. All right, let's come in here and take a look at our flight plan. We are down here now between Tiffany and Beatty. We're heading directly for Darts now. Darts, we want 4,200 feet, so I'm going to just give this 4,200 feet here. Go enter. Okay, now we've set a VNAV profile here, which you can see. Okay, so you see the VNAV profile. Time to top of the descent is 6 minutes and 42 seconds. So right now we're at 6,000. I've put in 4,200 feet for Darts. And this little window here gives you all the calculations you need. Like that VNAV profile and the VNAV capabilities in this G1000 NXI avionics system from Garmin is a really powerful tool that helps you a lot, so that if you weren't on autopilot, you could just take these numbers down here and you could use those to help you manage your descent and make it nice and controlled and nice and stable, which is what you want when you're flying an approach here. So right now I've got 4,200 listed in here. So now let me just show you another little trick. What I'm going to do is right now I'm going to go and put 4,200 in here. Actually, I'm going to put 3,000 in here in my altitude select, and I'm going to come down here to the GCU. Let's come in here tight so you can see it. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the VNAV button here. And now that VNAV is armed. And if you come up here and look on the PFD, you'll see right here that VPath is now armed. Now, he's going to give me an altitude, I'm sure, but maybe not. And so if he cleared us direct to Darts at 4,200 feet, we've kind of set the system up now that it'll do it all for me, so I don't have to think about it. In the meantime, it's we've got 4 minutes and 44 seconds, which you can see right here to our top of descent. So it kind of just gives you a chance to stay ahead of the game here and anticipate what's coming next.
768 Foxtrot Sierra, contact SoCal approach 134.2.
34.2, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. We're going to put in 134.2. We're going to switch it over and make the call. SoCal approach Sierra 768 Foxtrot Sierra, level 6,000.
768 Foxtrot Sierra, SoCal approach, the Burbank altimeter 3015, advise ATIS request.
I've got ATIS for Santa Monica, November. Request is RNAV 21 for Santa Monica.
8 Foxtrot Sierra, clear direct Darts, cross Darts at 4,300, clear to RNAV, runway 21 approach.
Clear direct Darts at 4,300, cleared for the RNAV 21 approach, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. All right, so he gave me the number there. So let's go and, so first things first, we're going to go clear direct Darts, he said. So we're going to go up to Darts.
2 Foxtrot Whiskey, are you
direct, enter nav. Now we're going there. We're cleared for the approach. So I'm going to hit the approach button, and we'll start down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to 4,300. Enter. There's our approach, and in 3 minutes and 8 seconds, 3 minutes and 4 seconds, we should start down. Now, let's go back over here for a second. I've got 3,000 listed in there. And the reason I've got 3,000 listed in there is because if you go to the approach plate, which I can't show you unfortunately here, but you would see that the movie is the final approach fix, which is at 3,000. So the way VNAV works is, we've got 4,300 selected here as our VNAV select. I've got 3,000, so if you put it at 4,300 or below, the VNAV will kick in 2 minutes and 1 second. So what I've done is I put that 3,000 in, because once we get darts, so I want the plane to keep coming down here. So now what I haven't done here is I haven't gone and loaded the approach here. Okay, so I am out of whack here. So we're going to go vectors, minimums are 440. I've still got some time, remember. 440 is my approach. Enter, enter. Okay, so now let's go back to our flight plan. And now I want to go down to darts and go darts, enter, enter. And now we've got it set up there, direct darts. We got 1 minute and 17 to our top of descent, so we're looking good. That's why you got to practice, folks. I got a little out of whack there and forgot to take care of putting in an approach. All right, you can see here, though, I've got VNAV selected here, which is highlighted. I've got our autopilot is on, and I've got our approach all dialed in here. So everything is set up, and now I'm waiting for 30 seconds. And I'm looking at 30 seconds over here, and if this thing doesn't start down on its own, you'll also notice up here that it's showing glide path, because VNAV is off. It went off. And now we've gone back up here, and I think we're good. So let's just see if in 6 seconds we start down. There it is. You see the V path is now engaged. Our GP is there because we have selected or armed our approach. We're going direct darts, and we're starting down, and it's pretty much going to match. Our descent rate is right on that 737. You'll see it moving down a little bit, so everything is working according to plan. Gotta love it. Now from here, what I'll probably do is pull back my power a little bit to about 50%, 55%-ish, because I don't want to just go screaming downhill here. In fact, at darts, I want to be at about 120 knots. We got 4.6 miles, so I'm going to pull some power back considerably here and get this baby slowing down a little bit. Now you see on the power up here, it says 7%. I'm not sure that would actually be quite as dramatic. I'm going to put some power back in here now because we're within reach of that 120. So the most important thing I'm looking at is that speed. I want to be close enough to get to my 120 number here. Once I'm there, I'll put some power back in. Let's go back over here to our map. Now you'll see right here the top of descent is indicated there on the map as well. .3 miles from darts. Now at 120 knots on this G3 version of the Cirrus, which is what the Torque Sim aviation model is based on, our flap speed is 119 knots or something like that. In the actual G6, you can pop those flaps in there at $150, which is very helpful. It's like slows that baby down considerably. All right, so now you can see that I'm pretty much at my 120 number here when we make that turn. V path is armed. We're going to hit our glide path, and we're going to keep going. There is our 4,300 at darts, a little over that, and right here in 11 seconds we're going to be making that swinging left turn. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put in some flaps. There it is at darts. We're going to keep coming down, I hope. All right, so let's put some flaps in there. Now from here I'm going to actually have to go vertical speed to make it go down. So I got to get to 3,000 feet. So now when I'm handling this, not automatically, I'm handling this descent now to 3,000 feet, old school. to sync up my heading. I've got 120.1. Let's get that one set in there. Am I going to make movie at 3? I think I am. Still getting a pretty ripping frame rate there. We're 2 miles from movie. We're at 3,600 and we've got the glide path is in. So now we're looking good. Okay, we're rolling here now, so let's go back to our checklist now. We did all those. Let's go to our descent altimeter we've got set. Let's get our landing light on, check. Fuel system, let's put it over on our left tank. Our mixture is back to full mixture now.
Cross Santa Catalina 4000, clear VOR DME Bravo approach.
Oxygen not required.
Clear, contact Santa Monica Tower 120.1, see ya.
Contacting Santa Monica 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thanks for your help. Santa Monica Tower, Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra inbound on the RNAV 21 with November.
Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra, Santa Monica Tower, runway 21 clear to land.
21 clear for landing, 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thank you. Okay, our seatbelt and shoulder harness good, fuel pumps all the way in, flaps are as required, autopilot, we're good. Let's go to our next one. The next one will be on the ground. Let's go back to the map here. All right, so now we're going to put in our missed approach, which I believe is 5,000. I'm not looking at the plate because my iPad just died. Got good speed here. I'm going to pull power just a little bit to 30% here. Pull it back to 30%.
John Wayne ground, runway, correction, John Wayne Tower, runway 20.
There we go.
Takeoff with variable entry.
Clear for takeoff to your right, to zero opinion.
Now, typically what I'll do is I'll keep it at this speed until I hit the freeway about 2 miles out in front of the airport here. So right now we're looking good. We're very stable approach right now. All right, you see right beneath my tire there, it's this is always a fun approach for me. The first golf course you see down there on the left is called Hillcrest Country Club in the real world. The buildings you see right underneath my nose right now, that's the 20th Century Fox Studios, which is of course right across the street from Hillcrest. Lots of the executives back in the day would come over for lunch. Once you cross here, that's Rancho Park Golf Course, where I spent a lot of time between those two places in my youth.
Contact departure.
Contact departure.
Okay, we're coming up on those freeways here. So I'm going to put in that last notch of flaps here. Keep that nose pointed down here. We're right right on our glide path here. This is looking good.
500.
Okay. We're at 500. Okay, so I'm going to take it off of autopilot now. We're going to just start flying this baby in ourselves. We're pulling out a little power as we go. Every power is a little bit of trim that comes with it here. Let's try to get this thing nice and dialed in. We're a little high. Let's push it down a little bit. Pull some power. There's one red light. Pull a little bit more power. Trim it a little bit more. A little bit more power. A little bit more trim. All right, power is out here now. Let's get her down here. Let's hold that nose. All right, right on the runway there. Slow her down. Alrighty.
Great, Foxtrot 0, taxi to parking via Alpha. Remain as frequency, good day.
Taxi to parking via Alpha. I'll stay with you. Thanks for all your help, 8 Foxtrot here.
Of course.
Alright, there you have it. That was a smooth little flight here today on the sim. Alright, let's clean her up. We got our flaps are coming up now. Let's trim her up. Stay on that line. Alrighty, there we are. Well, let's go back in here. Let's go back to our, go get our shutdown sequence. We got the nose, engine shutdown. Get our pilot view. Let's go to our throttle pump here. We're going to turn off our fuel pump here. We're going to go and cycle the ignition. Got it. Then we're going to turn off the mixture. And we are done. All right. There you have it. Okay, so now let's go and get this baby all tidied up here. Okay, so we've set our parking brake, so now let's come back in the cockpit here and let's take care of some business. We're going to put the caps pin back in. We're going to put the cover back in. We're going to turn off all these switches here. Turn off our ignition here. Okay. We're going to record our engine hobs here, so we're going to come down. We're going to open up the glove box. We've got, let's see, what do we got? 63.1 is our engine hours. 166.9 is our Hobbs, okay? Okay, now we're going to take those numbers and we're going to enter them here in on our flight info sheet, which you see right here. And then we're going to total them up, and then we'll put those in our logbook at the end of the flight here. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's go close up the glove box, come back up top. Now, next thing we're going to do, take out our keys here. We're going to disable Pilot Edge, and then we're going to go outside now and just get the plane all cleaned up here. So let's start that. Okay, we're going to open the door. Now we're going to close that door, then we'll come down. We'll open up the cargo door and get our pitot cover and our chocks. Close that baby up. We'll put the pitot cover on. We'll place the chocks. And then in one swoop, we're going to put the cover and tie downs on. All right, there you have it. There's a quick final look at our beautiful little Cirrus 768 Foxtrots here. My name is Steve Rennie. I am the Ren Baron. This is my Learning to Fly YouTube channel. And this is where I ask you to, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to our channel. Look forward to seeing you again soon.